Are you from here?
Just visiting.
It's my last night actually.
That's so many moments.
एक रात में पूरी जिंदगी जी सकते हैं.
Try करते हैं.
हर पल जी ले तू अभी, हर लम्हा है जिंदगी.
Magic in your eyes, there's magic in the air.
तो कैसी रही जिंदगी?
Every moment was magic. There's magic
Make
in
every moment a magic moment.
My journey of insurance and investments began at the same time when I invested in LIC SEEP. In this fast-moving world, SEEP can balance your funds with security and growth. SEEP will take care of the ups and downs of the market and will give you fruitful results so that you enjoy the ride. And when SEEP is with you, you can soar high!
LIC's unit-linked insurance plan SEEP offers savings and protection so that you can soar high in your life. LIC, हर पल आपके साथ.
Hello and welcome. I'm Kriti Narula. India's biggest youth summit, India Today Mind Rocks, goes virtual after being a crowned event for 11 whole years. With 18 editions traveling across 9 cities, it has now reinvented itself in keeping up with the current times. India Today eMind Rocks 2021 will bring all the amazing Mind Rockers together in one mega pan-India virtual event through candid conversations about their journeys, their aspirations, their inspirations, and what have you. This is aimed at helping the confined youth of the country beat the lockdown blues. So a big welcome to all you Mind Rockers out there who have tuned in today. Today we're going to be bringing you some of the biggest youth icons on our virtual stage. The message is clear and simple. You are not alone. Today, from netas to superstars, YouTubers, from singers to mental health gurus and representatives from Bollywood, all are reaching out to connect with you. We here at India Today are giving you a chance to connect as well. Use the hashtag MindRocks21 while you watch the event on the India Today website, our Facebook page, YouTube and Twitter. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Jain University, associate sponsor, Magic Moments Music Studio, make every moment a magic moment, and insurance partner, LIC of India. Coming up is our first session where actor Kriti Sanon talks about her journey and how she made it so big in Bollywood. Take a look.
Hello and welcome to Mind Rocks 2021, the India Today Youth Summit. I'm Akshita Nandagopal and I'm joined by a very special guest. Actor Kriti Sanon is joining me on this broadcast. Kriti, thank you so much for joining us. I wish we could have met personally, but you know, in these times, this is the best we can do.
I know this is my first Mind Rocks that's happening like this. I'm missing the whole fun and the craze of the audience and the energy that it always has.
Yeah.
But where in these times we can't help it, and adapt is probably the new word. I think we just need to adapt to everything that's happening around.
Kriti, you've been supremely busy. 5 films in the pipeline that you've got coming up. One recent was Mimi. And I think the question everyone asks is, do you get any sleep these days? You know, do you have more than 24 hours in a day?
No, I wish I did, honestly, because I'm getting lesser hours to sleep and I love sleeping. Like, I can't function if I'm not getting like an 8-hour sleep, and I'm not getting that, honestly. But I think after the whole pandemic and everyone being home and, you know, for so long and craving to work, craving to get back to normal life, to be on the set, to do what you love doing, I can't complain. I think busy is probably the new happy, I would say. And I'm just so glad and fortunate that I'm able to do everything that I want to do. Yes, it sometimes kind of comes all together, but it's okay. Without any pain, there's no gain, so it's fine.
I think, you know, as much as we all like to complain, none of us are going to complain for work coming our way, right? It's opportunities at the end of the day. Congratulations also, Kriti, on the great response that Mimi's received. I'm sure you've been getting a lot of love also for the film. It's been amazing. I just saw it last night as well. But it had a release on a streaming platform. You know, that's considered to be the new normal right now. Were you happy with the reception, with the kind of response that you got?
Yeah, absolutely. I was really overwhelmed with the kind of love that the film has gotten, and Of course, like you said, for me also it was. I've always had my films coming in the theaters, and it's kind of weird to have an OTT release, especially for a film that was meant for theaters.
Yeah.
So there was this little bittersweet feeling in the beginning, but then when the film released and the kind of love that's poured in, I also feel that we're in these really stressful times where everything is a bit gloomy, and everyone's just been home, not been able to go out, and kind of everyone's going through something or the other. And when a film like this comes and brings a smile to people's faces, gives them hope, gives them something to enjoy with their entire family, I think that has been a unanimous response that I've gotten. People have watched it with their families, with their parents, with their children. Someone, can I watch this film with my kids? And I'm like, please do, because most of the OTT content that has been around, I think, is more edgy, intense crime thriller zone, and there are times when you have to fast forward things, when you're watching with your kids or your parents. People end up watching it in separate rooms, and I think films for me, I think as a kid was always like it was a family event, that we kind of go to theaters with the whole family. We make this whole program, and I think with this film people are feeling that after a very long time.
Did you choose it because of that? Because a story like Mimi, it must have been hard for you to relate to also to some extent.
No, I mean, I think every character is different, and when the character is away from you is what makes it exciting. So for me, the story was very heart-touching, and it was entertaining, but at the same time, its core was very strong. It had heart, soul to it. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It made me feel like a roller coaster of emotions, which is what I felt, I want to do as an audience. When I'm watching a film, I want to go through like many emotions in one film, and at the end of it, I want to have like wet eyes but a smile on my face. I think that's what we all kind of, that feeling of, wow, I watched something good and I felt good about it. The character is very away from me. She's from Mandava. She's this girl who's feisty, who's like, she's talking to Ranveer Singh's posters. She's got big dreams. She's very, she has these, she doesn't take shit. And I feel like a lot of shades of her were very away from me. The dialect, the place where she comes from, I related to her dreams because I have, I saw those dreams of wanting to become an actor, believing in yourself, wanting to take, willing to take risks, But at the end of it, when what changes her, the surrogacy, and when they run away and that flips her life, and the whole transition to this, from a girl to a woman, and to a mother, and not being prepared to be a mother, but still being in that situation, and then turning into a mother with just holding that.
Yes, that's why I asked, how do you relate to those kind of stories?
I think with me, the process has been like, obviously I talk a lot with my director to understand the subtext and what the character is going through. But it is the journey of the character, to understand what she's going through at that point. What could be her feeling, what could be what is exterior and what could be more internal. So I think that's been my process. And I think every woman kind of has that little motherly instinct in general, which is there. I love kids, so I'm just glad that I do, because if I was like Minnie in the first half, who's shouting at a kid for crying, I probably would have not been able to relate to the second half of it. But I love kids, and I think I have that slightly wanting to take care kind of a feeling inside
that
me.
Instinct, that motherly instinct.
Yeah, I feel like as a person also, with me, with my friends, with my sister, sometimes I can become a little bit of a mummy at times. Yes, I am a very logical person. I'm an engineer. For me, everything is about logic. So there were times when I asked, like, in the beginning, I asked Lakshman sir that, she has so many dreams. She doesn't want to become a mother. She hates kids. She gets this child and she forgets her dreams, and she doesn't want to do anything else. And she wants to, like, protect this child and be with this child. How? And he's like, because she became a mother. This is a feeling that you can't, there is the most selfless and unconditional love in this world is a mother's love.
Are you from here?
Just visiting. It's my last night actually.
That's so many moments.
एक रात में पूरी जिंदगी जी सकते हैं.
Try करते हैं.
हर पल जी ले तू अभी, हर लम्हा है जिंदगी.
Magic in your eyes, there's magic in the air.
तो कैसी रही जिंदगी?
Every moment was magic.
There's magic
Make
in
every moment a magic moment.
मुझे जॉब छोड़ा फिर भी सो कूल.
ब्रो, नए चैलेंजेस नए मौके लाते हैं.
अच्छा.
सीरियसली राहुल, मेरा पूरा घर नाउ इट्स एन ऑनलाइन रिटेल स्टोर. देख.
वाओ. लेकिन पैसे?
कुछ साल पहले दिवाली बोनस को इन्वेस्ट किया था.
और अब तो है LIC का यूलिप प्लान निवेश प्लस. एक बार इन्वेस्ट करो, इंश्योरेंस से सुरक्षा का लाभ और मार्केट की बढ़त का फायदा दोनों पाओ.
वन सेक राहुल.
मैडम, यू आर डबल कूल.
You've given us such, interesting roles. I think of Bareli Ki Barfi, I think of Mimi, and then now, in your Kitty, in your upcoming films, you've got an action flick also. You've got a myriad, sort of very different films that you've done, very different roles. How do you really cherry pick these? Do you think that, my next film should be something I've never done before, something that's completely out of the box?
No, I don't think like that. Though I feel, yes, I think subconsciously I do get attracted to things that are new for me. That I haven't done, I haven't explored. If I come across a character that, I've done something like this before, it might not excite me as much unless and until the story is stronger than the character at that point, and I feel like I want to be a part of this. Then it's a different thing. But otherwise, sometimes I think what excites you, what scares you is what excites you, at least in my case. So, sometimes when I hear something and I'm like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like that happened in case of Mimi as well, where I was like, okay, the second half of it is so away from me. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. And there's a huge transition. But that is what excited me. So I think I get drawn to things that slightly scare me a little bit, challenge me to some extent, and are different from what I've done. Actually, I was thinking the other day that all my next films that are coming, whether it is Hum Do Hamare Do, which is like a warm family film, there is Bachchan Pandey, which is a complete entertainer. I play a director in that, something I haven't done before. The dynamics that are there between my character and Akshay Sir's character is very, very unique and very different and very exciting. There is Bhediya, which is like my first horror comedy, and I love my look in the film especially, and it's going to be surprising for people to watch me like that. There is Adi Purush, which is a complete history, mythology zone, a character which is, it has so much weight to it. And Ganpat, where I get to do action and, I have this dirt bike and there is like a completely different fictional zone happening. And I just feel like all these none of them overlap each other in terms of the genre and the content and the kind of film it is. And that can be probably the most exciting phase an actor can be in, where you're doing so many things which are away from each other in terms of, the character, the zone, the genre of the film. Yeah. So I'm actually thrilled.
You've been in the industry for 7 years now. Does it make it easier? Or do you think, the same pressure that was on you the first year, the first film that you made your debut with is still there because there's a certain expectation now from fans?
It kind of I mean, you get more confident with time, with experience. I feel I have also, over the years, evolved and constantly grown, and that's been like um, intentional. Like I want to constantly grow and learn from every film, and sort of become a better version of myself. So that way, yes, you understand the craft a lot more. Things are easier in terms of your approach. But at the same time, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to do something that you've not done. So it gets tricky as well. And pressure or the nervousness, I think, is the same. I think I get the same butterflies when my film is releasing. I get the same butterflies when I'm starting a new film. There'll be like 4 days, 5 days before the film. I would be like a little anxious, and I would kind of lose my appetite, and things that happen to me when I'm stressed. And I, until I give that first shot of the character, I would be like, I don't know how to do this. So that happens, but that is great because I think I like feeling like a bit of a beginner who doesn't know it all, and is wanting to explore, is wanting to find her way.
Kriti, you're one of those few actors who's somehow, and I'd say miraculously, managed to stay away from too much controversy, needless issues, all of that. And besides that, also, you're one of those actors who doesn't belong to those big families, those big B-town families or any of that. So, was it hard to really break into Bollywood as an outsider? Do you still see that as some sort of a challenge even now?
I don't call myself an outsider anymore. I think I'm very much a part of this industry. I've created a place of my own, a space of my own. I feel at home. And I am doing the work that I've always wanted to. I have people who have believed in me, given me the opportunity, and I call it my own home and my own place. And I don't want to feel like an outsider because I belong here. But yes, it's taken a while because I don't come from a film background. I think it's like you come into a new world and you're lost and you don't know anyone and no one knows you. So I think you take that time to kind of get people to know your name, to kind of match your face and name to each other, to see your talent film by film, to start believing in you, and to be willing to give you opportunities outside your comfort zone, to believe in your talent more than what they see outside, of your personality. So I feel all those things take a little while. You have to take baby steps and grow, and that's what I have done at least. But once you get to know people, you've worked enough here, you find your own people who are at the same frequency, who have the same beliefs, who are equally passionate. And I think there are all kinds of people everywhere. So there will be someone who will not believe in you, but there will be someone who will. So, I think that's there in every profession. It's, the awkwardness at filmy parties has reduced a little, but I still don't love going to fully filmy parties. I prefer partying with my own set of people a lot more. But that's me as a person, that's my personality. And controversies, I don't know. I mean, they could happen, never say never. It's not like
you don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm trying to get into one. It's not like I'm trying to willingly stay away. I think it's just my personality. I think I am a bit of an easy person who people will not really have an issue with. And that's how I've been. So I think that's probably the reason I don't like controversy. So I'm not around them anymore.
The reason I asked you that question, Kriti, also about, how you made it big in Bollywood really is because very often there's a certain narrative about Bollywood and the film industry here in India that it's not always about talent, that you have to have the right contacts and that's when it takes you a certain place. Would you agree with that? That, it takes a certain amount of influence, certain amount of contacts. It's not always that actors like you can make it big with just talent.
See, I don't completely believe in that. Yes, of course, if you have influence, you have friends, you know someone, it's going to get easier for you. But eventually, I feel like talent is what shines at the end of it. You need to be aggressive and you need to be a go-getter and you need to be driven and ambitious. And I think when you are all of that, you end up I don't care if I don't see it as a problem if I have to reach out to someone and say I want to work with you, and that's okay. And I think eventually, if you're doing good work, you're driven, you're ambitious, you are a go-getter, I think eventually people see that, and it's at the end of it, everything is a business. If you're bringing something different to the table, if you're adding value to what you're doing, then you will get work.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I mean, I didn't have any contacts. I didn't have any influence. So there are so many people who didn't. I mean, when you talk about Rajkumar Rao, you talk about Ayushmann, you talk about Taapsee, you talk about so many people who've not come from a film background. They've not had contacts and influence. I mean, Anushka Sharma also, when she came, or Priyanka when she came, it's not like they came with contacts.
Yeah.
Eventually, yes, you build relationships. I think I do believe in that. I do believe in like building my own equations and relationships with people who I feel have, similar beliefs, thinkings, who I kind of connect with. And that sometimes I think you need to take your relationships forward. You need to sort of, that is something that stays, when things are going wrong, when your films are not working, those relationships are going to still be like there around you. And I think that somewhere helps, yes.
Kriti, my producers have put together quickly a rapid fire round that they want me to do with you. So I'm going to start off quickly. You're ready, right? It's just going to be very, very quick. 5-10 questions.
I'm pathetic at rapid.
Nothing controversial, I promise you.
Sure.
I'm not a Karan Johar, so I can't pull off anything controversial. We keep it very, very simple.
Sure.
Okay, so let's begin with the question that they put out, which is, would you choose a 100 crore film or a Best Actress award?
Best Actress award.
Okay, comedy or action, and why?
Comedy or action? Comedy. Because I just feel like comedy is probably the most difficult genre. It's very difficult to make people laugh. And also when you're spreading so much happiness, then comedy. I like lighthearted.
Okay, difficult one coming up. Who would you rather flirt, date and marry? So there are 3 names: Prabhas, Tiger Shroff, Kartik Aaryan.
Oh God. Flirt, date,
and
marry.
So you got Prabhas, Tiger Shroff, Kartik Aaryan.
I think I shouldn't say. I hate these questions. Yeah, why? Are you
I told you this is a difficult one.
Why are you making this coffee with Karan? I would probably flirt with Kartik, date Tiger, and marry Prabhas.
Okay, marry Prabhas. I'd agree with you there. Kriti, one thing that you cannot do without on set. One thing that you need with you, always.
That I need with me always on my set. I think my team. I think I'm just so comfortable with them. And, we don't realize the fact that we end up spending more time with our team, like our hair, makeup, our people around.
Yeah.
Than I sometimes do with my family. So, they become like your family on set, and they're constantly with me. So, I think it's nice to feel somewhat at home at every set, when you have your people around.
Okay. Which real life character would you like to play?
Would you like to?
Play. Who would you like to enact next? A real life character you find inspiring or, great story?
There are so many. I don't know.
You can pick 3 even. We have no problem.
Pick 3 in the sense, मुझे कोई आ नहीं रहे दिमाग में. But I feel like Madhubala's story, Madhubala ji's story is something which is very, very different.
That'll be amazing to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would love to, as a person, I would love to know more about her story. So to play her would be really amazing.
Okay. Who's your biggest critic?
My biggest critic? There are many around me. I think all my people, all my honest people, I would say. I mean, my family for sure. So after watching every film, we have like a chai discussion, about the film, where they are absolutely brutally honest about what they felt, what scene they liked, what scene they didn't like. everything. So my family is definitely my biggest critic. I think because they get to know where I'm faking it. Like they know me so well that they know that this is not, you're not completely there in this particular moment. So yeah, I think I would call them probably my biggest critic.
So you've completed 7 years in the industry, but 10 years from now, and complete this line for me, Kriti Sanon would be
still discovering herself.
Okay, that's a great line. I'm going to give you one word, and the first thing that comes to your mind, when I use these words. First, COVID-19.
Must go.
Lockdown.
Lockdown. I think a pause button, I would say.
Maldives.
Dream.
Trolls.
Indifferent.
Okay, and finally OTT platforms.
OTT platforms, I think the next big thing.
Okay, one difficult question also coming up, Kriti. Who's dearer to you, Bitti from Bareilly Ki Barfi or Mimi?
Yeah. Why do you want me choose?
I had to do it.
Between my babies. I think both have a very special place in my heart, honestly speaking. And I'm not saying it like diplomatically. They do, because I feel like Bitti helped me broke a few barriers, and I think Mimi kind of shattered many. But I would say I have lived Mimi longer and deeper, and because also it was my first film that I kind of led and I had on my shoulders, and so Mimi probably is a little more special because I think I've lived, I know her better, I know her deeper.
Okay, a filmmaker you'd like to work with next, Rajkumar Hirani or Rajamouli?
I'm not. There is no choice. They are both like magicians and amazing people and amazing directors, and I can't choose this. Sorry.
Okay, then the next one. Now you have to choose an actor you'd like to work with next, Ranbir or Ranveer. Now you have to choose.
It's always taken in one breath. I don't know. It is like both. I've not worked with both, and both are amazing actors, and they're so different in their own space. Like, they have a different way of acting and method. I love both, yeah, guys. Mimi is.
Who do you think you'd have better chemistry with on screen?
Both. I genuinely mean it.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it there. I mean, you didn't give us an answer, but it's okay because I get it's a very, very difficult choice between the two.
It's a tough choice. Like, I'll ask you who's a better actor. Can you say?
Yeah, no, I like both their films, so it'll be difficult. But I will choose Ranveer. Kriti, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us here on India Today. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope that next year around we'll be able to meet you. Have all of that energy, that buzz that Mind Rocks is known for.
Yeah, I'm used to dancing on Mind Rocks also, and hearing
you can still do it for us. No one's going to complain.
Do here sitting like that, but I don't think that's enough. But it's been great having this chat, and I'm so glad that we could do this, and I really hope the next year we'll actually meet in person.
Yes, so I'm keeping your word on that. We'll have you next year on our Mind Rock stage. Hopefully, by then everything will be taken care of and we'll be, done talking about a pandemic. But thank you so much, Kriti, for joining us here on India Today.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
Bye.